Hey, everybody. Welcome to this fantastic, amazing look that I have going on right now. I know you guys are thinking, I didn't know she had an OnlyFans. Look at this. All of the, yeah, just welcome to my Friday. But before we get started with this, really what I think is an important video, let's go ahead and do the intro and then we'll get right down to business. Welcome back. Welcome back. I was supposed to be able to do this yesterday, but we had technical difficulties yesterday. So yesterday didn't happen. So that's always fun. I don't know if I like this lighting, but we're kind of working with what we got. I wish I could show you guys my lighting that I have by my computer right now because, I kind of like that better. We're going to go with that. I don't look washed out. I got these strip lights and they look really cool. But so today I think is an important topic that we need to talk about because it's not talked about enough, okay? And it's a mental health issue that I have dealt with myself when I was younger, that many women that I know have dealt with. And it's just, I'm still blown away that in 2021, this is still not talked about as much as it should be. And so I'm going to give you some stats. And, I know you're like, well, what the hell is she talking about? Don't worry, we'll get there. So in the United States, now this is just the United States alone, approximately 70 to 80% of women experience at minimum baby blues. Okay. If you're not aware of what baby blues is, it's a term that was given, I'm pretty sure it was given by men. I'm not, because it doesn't feel like just, I don't feel good. Baby blues was a term given to women after they give birth. And when your hormones start kind of trying to level themselves out. And I say trying because it's not always successful as quickly as you might like. Your chemicals imbalance and you end up feeling different levels of depression. Now they're saying 70 to 80%. So that means 20% of women either aren't reporting it, aren't getting treated, aren't getting seen, or aren't saying anything, or 20% of women don't go through this. So it's that first set of stats right there is staggering. Okay. It's ridiculous. The thing is that still with 70 to 80% of women minimum experiencing baby blues, it's still not taken seriously. And that's scary. So 10 to 20% of those women experience postpartum depression, the clinical version of postpartum depression. Now, the clinical version is when the doctor actually takes the time, which unfortunately for many of us women is very hard to get them to do. I know a lot of people think that this is all in our minds and that we're being dramatic. No, it is true. It takes a lot to get doctors to listen to us because they want to say that, you're just being dramatic. You're obviously in a high stress situation. It's all in your head. You're just overthinking things. That's what we get. So these are the clinical postpartum depression. So the 10 to 20% of women actually can get their medical professional to listen to them and actually realize something is wrong. Okay. One recent study showed that 1 in 7 women may experience postpartum depression within a year after giving birth. So within a year. So we're talking 12 months after you've already given birth. At any point in that time, 1 in 7 women, you have 7 friends, right? You yourself, and then you have 6 other friends. So one of you has experienced this. It's a little crazy to think about, but that's exactly what this is saying. And the sad part is that when a lot of people think that the baby blues only happen right after giving birth, that's not the case. People do not realize that your hormones are, I mean, unless you've actually gone through pregnancy, I don't, even if it's a miscarriage or a still, whatever you have gone through, if you have gone through a pregnancy, then you understand what the hormones can do to your body. And it's not just physical, it's mental as well. And it's really scary because you hear so many times of people using the threat of taking people's kids away because, oh, well, you're a mental case. And there's another reason why women don't want to come forward and say anything as far as getting the help they need, because they're afraid they're going to be basically criminalized and thrown into the loony bin, and their kids are going to be taken away from them. It's 2021. Why is this not talked about? Why are we not really talking about this? We've had celebrities come forward. We've had lots of people come forward that are, that have a voice. I mean, we all have a voice, but I'm talking people who have a reach, who are, they talk and there's millions of people that are watching them talk, have said, this is what happened to me. This is how I felt. This is what I went through. And still people are turning a blind eye. And I don't understand that. So here's another stat for you. 4 million live births a year. Okay, so that's a statistic that there's a guesstimation of about 4 million live births a year. That's almost 600,000 postpartum cases a year. A year, okay? That number is only for live births. We're not even counting miscarriages and stillbirths yet. If you do count them in, it goes up to 900,000. 900,000. But we want to pretend it doesn't exist, that women are just being dramatic. But there's 900,000 women out there that are basically telling you, yeah, that's not how this works. That's not how this works, because your mental health is directly connected to your hormones, and they talk about chemical imbalance all the time. I have a son that has that deals with mental health, and I'm not going to put his business out there, but all the time we hear about chemical imbalance. And what is more chemically imbalancing than another life in your body, especially one of completely opposite sex? You have that's a whole, I mean, a lot of stuff is going on when you're pregnant from jump. I'm not talking about there's just something going on, when they're this big and this big. From jump, there's a lot of stuff going on, okay? And it's beyond physical. It's physical and mental and emotional, and it's just not taken seriously enough, and I don't understand why. Okay, the sad part is these stats that are reported cases, okay? So there's most likely twice as many cases that aren't reported, because either A, somebody told them that they just needed to smile and be happy and find something to be happy about because they were just being dramatic, or B, they went to the doctor, they went to get help, and the doctor turned them away and told them that they were just experiencing baby blues, it'll get better. Why are we telling women this? It's as bad as people telling men that they don't need to have emotions. Why is this our life in 2021? I don't understand. We are supposed to be this leading country, and we can't get our shit together when it comes to our own American citizens and their mental health. It's ridiculous. So here's another little thing for you. this is the scary part. And I'm going to refer to a case that happened. Oh my God, I can't even think of how long ago it was. So here's between 1 and 2 women out of every 1,000 develop postpartum psychosis. Okay, postpartum psychosis. This is potentially deadly. 10% of these cases result in suicide or infanticide. So 10% of these cases of these 1 and 2 women out of every 1,000, and I know that seems like a big number, but when you look at the amount of cases of postpartum there are, 900,000 cases, think of how many of those have turned into postpartum psychosis. That is a lot of women. And this is not even globally, this is only the United States. So think of how many of those just turned into postpartum psychosis. So that means without help, without intervention, without somebody taking them seriously, they'll either take their own life or the life of their child or children. The case that I want to refer you to is, does anybody remember a woman named Andrea Yates from Texas? You've probably heard her story. And the sad part is that her husband did listen. He may not have really understood, but he did listen. She had issues after every one of her pregnancies, and she kept telling the doctors that she was having issues, and they didn't really listen to her. It got to the point where her husband arranged to have her put into a psychiatric ward to get help. At one point, their insurance stopped paying, and the psychiatric ward kicked her out. A couple months later, I don't know if it was a couple months or even a couple weeks, I'm not even sure. A couple weeks later to a couple months later, sometime later, we'll say, she drowned all 5 of her children in the bathtub because she thought she was saving them from evil and sending them to God. She was diagnosed with postpartum psychosis. The only thing her husband did wrong was go to work that day. She called him at work several times and told him she didn't feel right. She was hearing voices. She didn't feel right. She was left alone with her 5 children. The youngest was just 5 months old. If doctors would have taken her seriously enough, they had 5 pregnancies, and it was getting worse each time. And they were very religious people. If somebody would have stepped forward, and all of this, because insurance didn't want to pay, and the psychiatric ward said, well, we're not getting any money, so we no longer want to help you. You're fine. You can go home. Because of all of that, 5 children lost their lives. I believe the oldest was 9. That shouldn't be happening. Hi, Mox. That shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be happening at all. I can't tell you how many times I hear this. And one of the biggest issues I have with this whole thing is some of the issue comes from the person's significant other, their boyfriend, their husband, because they don't get it. So they automatically think that we're just being dramatic. Message. Okay, here's a PSA for all the men out there. If you have a girlfriend or if you have a wife and you haven't had children yet, if you have had children and you're gonna have more, if you've just had children and you've maybe noticed your wife or your girlfriend might be a little off, maybe not acting the same as she did before she had the child, open your eyes, open your ears, and pay attention. Do not dismiss her feelings. Do not dismiss her as being dramatic. Do not dismiss her as wanting attention. Do not dismiss that she's overwhelmed. Do not Well, I was at work all day, so I don't know what you're complaining about. No. Open your eyes, open your ears, open your mind, and really look at this woman you claim to love and see that she's not okay. 70 to 80%. That means that there is a damn good chance that your woman falls into that category or will fall into that category. Doctors are just as at fault. And it's not just mental health where doctors are really failing women. They fail women on a physical basis every day. They fail women on a mental basis every day. I can't tell you how many times I've heard friends and my friends' kids talk about, yeah, I went to the doctor because I'm having lower back pain. And all they tell me is, well, have you tried Tylenol? Oh, no, you're just being dramatic about it. I'm sure the pain's not that bad. If you hear a doctor say this to your son or to your daughter, to your wife, to your girlfriend, open up a can of whoop ass, verbally, of course. Let them know that that will not be tolerated. Let them know that your wife, girlfriend, daughter, whoever, baby mama, their health matters. And nobody should be staying silent. If you feel like you are not being heard, put your foot down. I have actually had to throw a tantrum in a doctor's office. My mother, my aunts, they were all nurses. They're nurses. They know what I'm talking about. They've seen it happen. I know the type of level of care I'm supposed to get, and I knew I wasn't getting it. I have had to throw a tantrum in the middle of a hospital because I was being ignored. I was told I wasn't really that serious. I was okay. Fill out these forms, yada, 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 yada. And I had to, they threatened to call security on me. I said, please do. I would love to tell them how I'm being treated. You know what? Let me call the police for you. And finally, a doctor came out and realized that I wasn't playing. I wasn't playing. I was in a lot of pain. I was not okay. I ended up having to have my gallbladder removed. Usually when I go in to the doctor's office or to the hospital and I've got something wrong, they don't even want to talk to me. A lot of times they'll just be like, well, we'll give you some meds. You don't even know what's wrong yet and you're trying to dope me up. Open your mouths. When it comes to your physical health, your mental health, women, open your mouths. I don't care if you look like a 2-year-old in the middle of Walmart who was just told they couldn't have a toy. Open your mouth. Say something. Men, if you see it happen, open your mouth and say something. If you see it at home, that your woman, your wife, your girlfriend, your baby mama, whatever is not okay, say something. Talk to her. You never know, you might be actually saving a life, whether it's hers or your child's or both. So that's all I have to say today for our Friday talk that was supposed to be a Thursday talk. I really hope you guys listen to this, think about it, and we need to make some changes. I will see you on Sunday for our Small Business Tip Sunday, and have a great weekend.